Hi, medical detectives. We got lots of fun next week. So I just wanted to do a quick how-to video just because I think it's going to get a little crazy and rambunctious in class. So I thought that I could make you a video and then you can kind of just remember how to do it. So before you come to class, the idea is that you're doing your pre-lab stuff that's in the classwork section of our Google Classroom. So you are doing the 1.3 disease agents pre-lab. So you're reading all of that stuff and you're just answering those questions in your notebook. This second part, that's what we're going to do together in class this week. So super excited to share that with you. So you just do the pre-lab stuff. So you're just reading through your MyPLTW and working through all of that stuff. So you're reading about the kid and like what's wrong with him and his vital signs and all of that kind of stuff. So then when you come into class, we're going to start working on this part, the effectiveness of antibiotics. So we're going to work through this. You and your partner, you'll be writing what your research question is. You'll be writing out your hypothesis and your variables. And then I've already given you your materials. I'll have this handout actually for you. The procedure's already written down for you. So all of this is pretty easy. So then we've got some data tables and all of that kind of stuff, okay? So I just want to kind of show you a couple of things. So you're going to be with a partner or partners, depending on what the numbers are looking like. So when you come to class, we're going to start on this handout. The quicker we get through the handout and it's correct, then the quicker that you can get to the actual lab part. But you actually have to work through this and you actually have to have everything identified and everything written down before you can get started. So the point of this is learning and applying the effectiveness of an experiment and sort of the parts of an experiment to something that's real. So what you're going to have is you're going to have a little tube, and in this tube there's going to be some bacteria. Specifically, it's E. coli bacteria, and it's been treated so that we cannot get the E. coli, but that we'll still see the effects of the E. coli and the antibiotics. So as part of your question, you're going to decide what's the best antibiotic to treat this bacteria. So you can make that decision. You have a couple of choices, and you can decide to use all of the antibiotics, one of the antibiotics, two of the antibiotics. It's up to you. So you're going to have to make that decision with your partner or partners in this part that we're looking at on the screen right now, when you're identifying that problem, that question, which antibiotic works the best, okay? Then you're going to have a Petri dish, which we should all be familiar with now because we did a little pre-bacteria lab. And remember that the bottom part, that is the part that actually has the agar on it, and then the top part is the part that has the lid, and it sort of overlaps that bottom part. So what you're going to want to do is you'll have a sterile Q-tip, and so one partner is going to do this, and then I'll show you what the other partner is going to do next. So first partner, you're going to have your tube, and you're going to have your sterile Q-tip, and you're gonna have gloves on. And I already cleaned my surface here with bleach, and you'll do the same. So then we're gonna pop open our cap, and we wanna try to do this as quickly as possible because we wanna reduce our rate. So then we're gonna take our Q-tip and we're gonna stick it into our little tube, and we're gonna swirl it around here, making sure that that Q-tip is nice and wet. So just swirl, 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 swirl. It's nice and wet. We're going to close that back up. And then we're going to take our Petri dish and we're going to actually open it from the bottom. So from the bottom, so here's my Petri or my agar. So my agar is facing down, and I'm going to take my Q-tip and I'm going to run my bacteria. So I'm going to run it this way like we did in class. And then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to flip it to a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to do it again. So I've never taken my Q-tip and put it back into my bacteria. I just did it one time. Then I wiped, rotate, wipe over right, rotate again, wipe over right. So we're just spreading the bacteria that's actually into the Petri dish. We want to get it as equal as possible. And then finally, once you have it all done, you've rotated it all the various directions, then you're going to take your Q-tip and you're actually going to run it along the edges of it and into the agar so that there's a nice equal amount of bacteria spread throughout the entire Petri dish. Okay, then you're going to return it back to its lid and you're going to set it down. That part's done. So this, partner, that was your job. So your job is done and you can go ahead and dispose of all of your materials. So throwing that away. To remove your gloves, you're going to take one hand and you're going to pinch these gloves and you're going to pull these up, okay? And then you're going to take this hand, okay, and pull it off. And then underneath here where nothing has been touched, then you can, let me get back on the camera here. Then you're going to pull that up, okay? So now everything is contained into your gloves and you never had to touch them, okay? You can practice that skill, okay? And then you're going to throw it away and then you're going to go and wash your hands. Okay, well, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to show you partner number 2 and what they're doing. So partner number 2 is going to be preparing your antibiotic discs. So again, we're going to have our gloves on. Okay, we're going to have our nice clean area. All right, so partner number 2, you're going to take some isopropanol and you are going to have an empty Petri dish. And in your empty Petri dish, you're going to take the lid, and the lid is where you're going to be putting your antibiotic disc. So you're just going to set that aside. And then you're going to take the bottom part of this Petri dish and you're going to fill it up with a smidge of isopropanol alcohol. That was a technical term, just so you know. And then you're going to take your tweezers and they're just going to rest into your Petri dish like so. Okay? So you've got your lid ready to go, empty. You got the bottom part of your Petri dish with a smidge of alcohol, and then your tweezers are there. All right, so then what you're going to do is you're going to decide which antibiotic you're going to be using. And so when you decide which antibiotic you're using, then you're going to call me over and you're going to tell me which one you're using. So then when I come over to you, I'll bring, I don't want to open these yet because I don't want them to have air to them. So when you call me over, I'm just trying to show you, there's these little tiny discs, okay? And using your sterile tweezers, you're just going to grab one of those discs and then you're going to put it into your lid. So you'll just set it into your lid. So you're going to grab one of these little tiny discs here. I don't know, you probably can't really see it on here, but anyways, it's tiny. It's just a little circular disc, okay? And then set it onto the lid. Then if you're using another one, if you're going to use more than one antibiotic, then you're going to put your tweezers back into the alcohol to sterilize them again. And then you're going to let me know that you want another disc. So you're going to tell me whatever it is. And then you're going to do the same thing. So in your lid here, you'll have all of your discs that you're using. Okay. And then you're also going to have a blank disc. And the blank disc will serve as a variable type. I'll let you figure that out. I won't ruin your self-discovery. All right, so here we go. Here, I got a disc for you so you can see this. Okay, so this disc has nothing on it. So. Okay, so see, it's just, oh, geez. I was like flipping across the table here. Okay, there we go. Now you can see the disc. So that's how tiny they are. So the discs are going to be your choice of antibiotic or multiple antibiotics, and then you'll have a blank disc, okay? And they will all just be hanging out in the top of this lid until you have everything ready to go that you want to use. In between each antibiotic, making sure that we're sanitizing that set of tweezers. All right, so then once you have everything, you have all of the antibiotics of choice, and you have your blank disc, then we're going to take this disc or discs and we're going to put it into our agar. So here's our agar. So I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible to reduce the time that it's in the air. So I'm going to just barely lift it up here, and I'm going to set it into this. Let's see, can you see that? I'm going to set it into the agar, and then I'm going to press it down. Okay, and I only just flipped it up like this so you could see it on camera. Oh, dang it. Good thing there's not actually bacteria in here. So maybe don't try to talk and videotape this at the same time. So you want to kind of push it down in there, kind of good, because you really want that agar really around it, okay? So again, I mean, you don't want to be like flinging this thing around, because inside of your Petri dish, I didn't actually put any into this, it just was showing you, is going to have your E. coli bacteria. So taking that antibiotic disc or discs and shoving it down into there as quickly as possible, sort of spreading them out. If you have multiple discs, you don't want to have them right beside each other, because we want to be able to see the effectiveness of those particular antibiotics. So it's going to look like this. It's going to have more antibiotics or less antibiotic, just depending on what it is that you're doing. We're going to label our Petri dishes so that I know whose they are. And then that's it. That's the setup of the lab. Then we're just going to clean everything up. So you're obviously going to give me your bacteria Petri dishes so I can keep those in our incubator area. And you're going to rinse out your Petri dish that just had the isopropanol alcohol in it, and return your tweezers. And then we're going to take off our gloves. And then we're going to, again, clean our area with our bleach solution, wiping it down really good, and continuing on with class. I can't wait to hang out with you. I can't wait to do this lab. It's going to be so much fun. This is one of so many fun labs that y'all particularly get to do, which is super exciting. So hope you have a great weekend. Get that pre-lab stuff done so that you can jump into the lab when I see you on Monday. It looks like we have some fresh air outside. I'm super excited for that. It looks like the smoke is cleared. So go outside, get some fresh air, do some pre-lab. I'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend, my friends. Bye. Or Green, I'll see you Thursday. Bye.